The MLB trade deadline is July 31st, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the American League and decide whether your team is buyers or sellers at the deadline. And I'll also tell you what your team should probably do. Let's start at the very bottom here with the Chicago White Sox. They have an infusion of young talent right now. They're obviously sellers. I think trade away Luis Robert would make a lot of sense. He's 27 years old, and I still think that there's something there. If I'm the White Sox, I'm trading him. Next, the Athletics. Not the Sacramento Athletics, not the Oakland Athletics, just the Athletics. Obvious sellers at this point. They need to trade Brent Rooker. They have a lot of really good young players. Like, give it a couple of years, this team is going to be good before they trade everybody away all over again. But Rooker is 30 years old. He could be a great DH on somebody else's team. Somebody that needs some power. I'll get to a couple of those teams later on. Next, the Orioles, having a horrible season. Sellers at this point, but I wouldn't sell too much. I would try to trade guys like Cedric Mullins, maybe Tyler O'Neill, maybe even Ramon Laureano, who's a really good defensive outfielder. There are a lot of teams that would love those guys. The Kansas City Royals, obvious sellers. But they're not going to be making a lot of trades. There's one player they definitely need to trade, and that's their closer, Carlos Estevez. He's the second best closer this season, having the second most saves in Major League Baseball. A playoff or postseason bound team would love to have Estevez's services. He's an excellent pitcher. That's coming from an Angels fan. I love that guy and I miss him. If you're the Twins, you're selling. You're not catching up to the Tigers in that division. I don't think you're going to make the wild card, but you should sell. In my opinion, there are some good trade pieces that they could trade to different teams. One of them being Byron Buxton. Say what you will, he's having an unbelievable career year. But if I'm a GM, I sell when a player is at his all-time high. Buxton is 31 years old. They've been waiting on him to do this for years. Why not trade him at his highest possible value? There are some teams that can use his services. The Guardians are also sellers. They're going to get Shane Bieber back, I think, in August, but they've just underperformed majority of this year, and there are rumors that they're going to trade their closer, Emmanuel Clase, and Steven Kwan. And historically, they don't like to have a lot of big contracts on their roster, so I expect them to trade away some veterans. This next one hurts me because I'm an Angels fan. I would love for them to be buyers, but I think they're going to be more so sellers. They're not going to make a ton of moves. They're getting a lot of interest in a lot of their different guys, including third baseman Yoan Moncada, who when he's been healthy has been a very efficient defensive and offensive third baseman. On top of that, they're getting interest from starter Tyler Anderson, and Luis Rengifo garners trade interest every single season. But if I were them, I would trade away Taylor Ward. He's a left fielder with some pop. I think he has 23 home runs this year. He is one of the worst defensive left fielders I have ever seen, though. And he'll be 32 at the end of this year. I think if a team is willing to trade some good value for him, I would trade him immediately, even if he does lead your team in RBIs and home runs. The Rangers are in no man's land right now. They have elite pitching, so because of that, I think they're going to be buyers at the trade deadline, but I think they should be sellers. They need outfield help. They really, really do. And I'm just not sure if they're going to be able to make a trade work to get that outfield help. If there's any way to unload Adolis Garcia's contract, I think they're going to do it. I just don't think it's going to happen. History has taught us that the Rays are going to be sellers unless they're one of the three best teams in the league. I could see them trading guys away like Jake Magnum, Josh Lowe, even Ha-Seong Kim. The Red Sox are going to be buyers, but they're also going to be unloading a couple of their contracts. I think Jarren Duran is going to get traded before the trade deadline. There's a lot of speculation between Jarren Duran going to the Angels. Duran's a Corona kid. I would love for Duran to come to the Angels. He's one of my favorite players in baseball. He's electric. And the reason for that is the Red Sox don't like to give big money to players. That's just not what they want to do anymore. And they have Roman Anthony there. They have Marcelo Meyer. They have an infusion of young talent. They're not going to need Duran here pretty soon. The Mariners are buyers. This is the best offense that they've had in probably a decade, led by Big Dumper himself, Cal Raleigh. Their pitching is elite, but they need a third baseman, which is what a lot of teams are needing right now. They don't do a lot of interdivision trades with the Angels, but if they could overpay for somebody like Yoan Moncada, that would help them out a ton. The Yankees are buyers because they always are. They are rarely ever sellers. I'll say this though, if they want to make a dent in the postseason this year, they're going to have to get better defense. I don't like their outfield situation. I don't like Jazz Chisholm playing third base. They need to get Eugenio Suarez from the Arizona Diamondbacks. That would make a lot of sense for them at third. And I want them to get a better defensive outfielder. Dominguez isn't that good. Trent Disham isn't that good. And Aaron Judge, I mean, he's good, but I love their arms. Their arms are really strong this year. The Blue Jays are solid, obvious buyers. I do think they need some outfield help. Look for them as a team that might want to acquire Taylor Ward from the Angels. That makes a lot of sense. Astros, just like every single season, they are buyers. They don't even have Yordan Alvarez yet. Once they get him, they're going to be elite. Look for them to get a pitcher. Look for them to acquire Justin Verlander. I'm just saying. And of course, my American League favorite, the Detroit Tigers. Their pitching rotation is stacked. I think Jack Flaherty right now is their worst pitcher, and he's still really good at home. They need an outfielder to go along with Javi Baez and Riley Green. And I think they need a big bat DH. For them, acquiring a guy like Brent Rooker from the Oakland A's, or the Athletics in this case, makes all the sense in the world. Tigers, get Brent Rooker.